I want to talk about TikTok because I mean, folks, I've never been quiet about my views on TikTok or the Chinese Communist Party's influence over websites or applications and the threats these pose against you. I think I've been a very big critic of TikTok. I'm not on TikTok. And I believe it's a public threat. I believe it's a national security threat. I believe the long-term implications of it are a major threat. And right now, the federal government, they're looking to possibly ban TikTok. Under any normal circumstance, I would very much support this, but the bill is deeply concerning. The bill is like Patriot Act Part 2. The bill would give the federal government massive, almost total control over the internet, over computers, over your modems, your LAN, local area network, over satellites, over quantum computing, over AI. It is sweeping. It includes almost everything involving computers, and it would give them control over it. I mean, I found this shocking because I was generally supportive of this bill at first. I thought this was going to be a very good thing, and I believe the discussion on it is good. I believe in banning TikTok, by the way. I very much support the idea of banning TikTok. But the way this is being framed is horrifying, to put it bluntly. Let me show you. Epoch Times had this story. They say further in, TikTok is the most popular social media in the United States, and not just for messaging and videos. It's growing into a global super app, which users will be able to use for e-commerce, peer-to-peer networking, gaming, finance, and anything else developers dream up that users can be convinced that they need. In other words, it's like a one-stop shop. Videos, entertainment, social networking, communication, like instant messaging, buying products, finance. It's everything. Everything in your life can be done through TikTok. At least that's the goal of it, right? What's the problem with that? The problem is who controls that market and how do they manipulate their control of that market. In this case, the Chinese Communist Party is the big concern. Because they're saying is TikTok's powerful algorithm extracts personal data from what users reveal, including what they watch and anything the app's AI algorithms can glean, such as from third-party websites, everything you visit. Everything it can reach. The main objection to TikTok is that it could be used by the Chinese Communist Party against democracy. Given Beijing's demonstrated opposition to the United States and all we stand for, allowing its influence to grow through TikTok is arguably an existential threat to U.S. national security. And I would agree with that. Especially, imagine if the CCP controls finance, the CCP controls your private communications, the CCP controls the entertainment you're shown, it controls your, what you buy on marketplaces, and including what you cannot buy and what you cannot see. It says with 150 million users, banning the app would be politically difficult. Indeed, TikTok paid for travel for dozens of influencers with a total of 60 million followers to give a news conference in Washington on March 22nd, according to Wired. That's in addition to the $10 million the company paid for lobbyists in the past 2 years. This is a Chinese company lobbying the American government, folks. Although you could argue TikTok has U.S.-based offices or whatever. 3 Democratic lawmakers and a PR firm joined them as well. And it says further in, the Biden administration is looking for a solution and is threatening to ban the app unless China sells it. Now let me show you something interesting, something a lot of people forget about. TikTok is under the Chinese company ByteDance. And does anybody remember the self-criticism letter the CEO of ByteDance wrote, where the CEO of ByteDance talked about his promise to the Chinese Communist Party to use his products to serve the interests of the Communist Party? Does everyone remember that? What's really wild, folks, what's really wild about that public criticism letter is I was looking for it online, and I think it's been scrubbed from the internet. I can't find it. The most I could find was articles talking about it, and even that took me a long, long time because I remember writing about this when it first came out. This is the best I could find. I wrote about it. I need to go find my old reporting on it. but it doesn't show up on Google. I couldn't even Google this, folks. But it says Foreign Policy 2019. ByteDance, parent company of TikTok, can't outrun Beijing's shadow. It says further, and TikTok became the most downloaded app in the United States this past fall. ByteDance CEO Zhang Yiming, likely as a hedge against regulatory actions restricting growth in China, has set a goal of 50% foreign user base by 2020. A big part of its $75 billion valuation prices is the fact that unlike, say, Tencent, which is also a Chinese company, WeChat, it has proven to be able to deliver abroad. But with its success globally comes the same tension points other consumer-facing tech companies have encountered. Further in. Quote, the same exact attention the complaints people have with Facebook, they're going to have with ByteDance, said TechNode's John Artman on his China Tech Talk podcast. For instance, its international news apps have faced pushback in India for publishing racist fake news in the lead up to an election. And it even faced a suspension of an app in Indonesia for pornography, inappropriate content, and blasphemy. Further in, it states this, important. ByteDance has already been repeatedly forced to bend the knee to party authority at home, the CCP, folks. Most punishingly, in April of 2018, the government, the Chinese Communist Party, compelled ByteDance to shut down its popular Inside Jokes app for good due to vulgar content. And in response, Zhang, the head of ByteDance, did this. The head of ByteDance, the parent company of TikTok, issued a letter of self-criticism where he said, among many other things, quote, our product took the wrong path and content appeared that was incommensurate with socialist core values. He also promised that the firm would in the future, quote, and this is exactly from him in his public letter, quote, that it would further deepen cooperation with authoritative official party media, elevating distribution of authoritative media content, ensuring that official party media voices are broadcast to strength. And what's crazy, folks, is I can't find the original letter. I think it's been scrubbed. It doesn't show up on Google. I wrote about it back when it first came out, but I'll work on finding that for you all. The head of ByteDance, in other words, the head of which runs runs TikTok, wrote a public statement promising that his applications and his work will serve the interests of the Chinese Communist Party, promote the Chinese Communist Party's mouthpieces, and promote what they call socialist core values. In their own statements, they have vowed to support the Chinese Communist Party and its agendas on the information front. You get that? Now, that being said, with this TikTok ban, I support banning TikTok, personally, my opinion. I support banning TikTok. I think it's a public safety threat. I think that right now it's not being used in the way that it could be used further down the road. But I think it is a long-term, serious threat to every free nation. Because if the Chinese Communist Party can build a monopoly, a platform that is where you buy products, where you communicate, where you get your news, if they can, and even your financial information or payments, if the CCP controls that platform, they control what you see, they control what you say, they control what news you absorb, they control the websites you possibly visit, they control your finances, and they control your communications. Aside from being a national security threat, that could be used for censorship, that can be used for political manipulation. We know based on data, for example, how much Facebook is able to sway elections based on information people are exposed to and the way that's being used. Imagine if the Chinese Communist Party controlled that. Now, that being said, I do not support the current bill banning TikTok, and this is why. Because it's not just a TikTok ban. The current bill to ban TikTok is I'd say, hidden package that would hand massive government control over almost everything information and technology related. This is the Patriot Act on steroids. This is like total government control over information technology. Let me show you. Greg Price had a great analysis on it. He says the bill to ban TikTok is absolutely terrifying. It gives the government the ability to go after anyone they deem as a national security risk, at which point they can have access to everything. This is the actual bill. The Secretary, in consultation with the relevant executive department and agency heads, is authorized to and shall take action to identify, deter, disrupt, prevent, prohibit, investigate, or otherwise mitigate, including by negotiating, entering into, or imposing, enforcing any mitigation measure to address any risk arising from any covered transaction by any person or with respect to any property subject to the jurisdiction of the United States. Are you getting how broad this is? How incredibly broad this is and the incredible powers this would give them? And let me show you a list of what this includes. The other 3 documents on that list, by the way. This includes desktop applications, mobile apps, games, payment applications, web-based applications, communication technology, AI, machine learning, wireless area networks, that's your LAN, mobile networks, satellites, cable, wireless systems, quantum systems, biotech, robotics, etc., 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 going into very like frontier and fringe technology. This is everything. If it is digital, this includes it. This is everything. And Greg Price continues stating this. Believe it or not, it gets even worse. If you are found in violation, they can put you in jail for 20 years. 20 years. Fine you $1 million and seize your property. They can also deem any foreign government an adversary without informing Congress, and everything they do is not subject to FOIA, Freedom of Information requests, meaning there's no transparency. I, as a journalist, could not request data on it because it's not subject to FOIA. There's no oversight, no accountability. He says further in, if this was about banning TikTok, they would pass a bill that simply bans TikTok. But the uniparty, he calls it, is trying to create the same system of domestic spying they did after 9/11 for the internet, but on steroids. This is terrifying, frankly. This is what they're proposing underneath the TikTok ban. This is not a TikTok ban, folks. This is a control everything digital policy. And one that could go after us in, 20 years in prison, $1 million. This is if they believe you're promoting anything of a foreign group. But remember, folks, they claimed Trump was spreading Russian disinformation for 7 years. They claimed Trump was colluding with Russia and spreading Russian disinformation. Imagine if they threw Trump in prison for 20 years because they made a fake accusation because they falsified data, which is what they did. Imagine if they threw Trump in 20 years in prison for 20 years, using that fake narrative, which is what this would allow them to possibly do. You getting that?